For this next tutorial video for the Real Story animation project, I'm going to use one of your peers who I thought did a really excellent job at everything that was expected. So to go briefly back over what we did in the last video is we discussed the difference between a static or a still layer versus a video layer, which will move. Okay, in your layers panel, if you're not seeing your layers panel, you definitely need to have that open. So just go to Window, Layers panel, okay? In your layers panel, you can see which ones are video layers and which ones are static, non-moving layers with the icon that looks like film in the right bottom corner. Really great layers panel here. Okay, you're not going to get very fast at animating if you're not used to naming your layers. This makes it a lot easier to know what's being on screen and how much it needs to be on the screen. So if I needed to say, okay, the slope girl needs to be on the screen for less amount of time, I could trim that layer if need be. Okay. All right, so that is another instance. I'm drawing my animations in my video layers. And in order to do that, onion skinning is really helpful. That's kind of where you see this slightly opaque or faded version of your drawing from one frame before. So to turn on those onion skins, grab your hamburger icon here, which is just an option bar. And you're going to enable those onion skins. You're going to turn these back off when it's time to render your video. But your onion skins default with one frame before and one frame after. I personally like to just set it to 1 before and 0 after, and then click OK. So now you can just see that when you're scrubbing through the animation, you can see the movement of the character from one frame before, so you can kind of know where your character is going in your next drawing. So if I zoomed in, I would see that this student has a drawing every single frame, okay? It's only required that you do this for 10 seconds, but to make a good animation, you might have to do it a little longer. She got to 40 seconds, so that's a pretty decent sized animation. It is required that you have an audio element to it. So I would recommend when you're ready to do your audio, you telling your story that's being visually represented by turning your little scrubber, taking your scrubber, use your left mouse key and bring it all the way to 0, 0. Take your cell phone and record your voice telling your story or your script while you press the play button. So I can say, this character was really sad. They went on the slopes to have some fun. They were kind of scared. And I can narrate this story in a way that's really exciting so me as the teacher knows what's going on and brings more background into your visual memory. So once you record that on your cell phone, you can send the audio to your email address and import it using this plus button here. Okay, once you download your audio, you should be able to find that audio within your downloads folder. So that's how you're going to be putting in at least the audio of your voice recording. You can also add some music if it's not too distracting. So you can see that this student added some music. There's a lot of free, royalty-free music from on your S drive. So on your shared drive, there's a lot of free music. Okay. All right. And then once you're finally done, you will render this project with the arrow folder. Make sure that it's named correctly. Know where you're putting it. Don't save it to your downloads folder. Save it on your Creative Cloud files, and you'll be ready to turn it in.